Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making video. This time this is for the Stamp Around UK video hop. This is a monthly hop that we do on the first of the month for a particular theme. This time it's monochrome. So that's obviously, you know, we're just using a single colour with sort of black and white kind of thing. So that's what we're all doing today. If you do just want to like and subscribe, click in the description and there will be a whole heap of links to other people's videos, so you can just hop through and leave some encouraging comments. It's really great to build up our channels and get more videos out there sharing what we do. Okay, so for my card today I'm going to bust out this Layers of Beauty. I have been resisting using this for so long. You've probably seen it in use across YouTube. It's one of the new sets that's launched today, in fact, 1st of May, right? So you can actually get your hands on this now, and it is a whole bundle that comprises of a photopolymer stamp set, dies and layering masks that you can use independently of each other as well. The stamp set itself has some lovely companion sentiments and some smaller stamps to do other things with as well. The dies have also got some additional leaves and this cute little tag as well. So there's a lot more to do than just the sort of run-of-the-mill. We're keeping it simple today just because it's this monochromatic theme and I want to keep it simple. So we'll just dive straight in. This, the card that I've got in front of you there, let me just take off this die, 1 second. Oops, I don't just want that die and I want the stencils, or masks I should say. Just pop those to one side, let's put the stamp set to one side. Out of the way just for a second. This is all using Basic Beige, one of our new colours. Not one of the in colours, it's a brand new addition to the core line with coordinating ribbon and everything. So that's just layering different intensities of the ink, which is going light, medium and dark with the amount of pressure and the amount of ink that you apply, to give like this almost sort of sepia look to this beautiful rose cluster that we've got on this stamp set. The only thing I've brought in from something else is the oval here. That oval is from the Unbound Beauty. Unbound Love dies, I should say, which has got loads of frames that can coordinate with lots of different things, and of course just got a bit of bow on there as well. Okay, in the coordinating ribbon as well. So this is what we're aiming for. Okay, but we're gonna obviously do a different colourway. So I'm just going to bring in some scrap to work on. We're going to use one of the my normal card layers. This is 4 by 5 3/4. Not that it matters, we're going to die cut it out. But first I want to stamp the outline of the image on here before we start to get cracking on that. I am going to use a stamp positioning tool just because I find it easier. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my cardstock in there. Just make sure that that's going to fit in actually. Let me just check where I need to put this on the, I can't remember where I positioned it before. A bit further over. Should have marked where I put it. Completely forgot about it. Yep. Right, let's pop that in there then. So I'm just gonna, you can use the magnets or tape it down or whatever, doesn't really matter. Obviously, you know, if you've got a large block or something, you can do that. But like I say, I've got the tool, so I'm going to use it. And the colour we are using is Balmy Blue. I thought we'd just go there with that. So thing with the florals is I do sometimes have a bit of a hard time with my old brain in terms of, but it's leaves and flowers and they don't really come in, the leaves wouldn't be blue and stuff, but when you think about it, there's all sorts of scenarios in textiles, ceramics, whatever, where actually the monochromatic look works. I'm kind of thinking in terms of the blue, we've got like, was it called Delftware or something like that? It's all blue, it's all leaves and swans and birds and all this kind of stuff that wouldn't normally be blue. But for the look of the artwork, that's what they do. Okay, so we're going with it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the outline first. I find it easier to do that and then line up the masks over the top. And so I want to work on some scrap. So here's some scrap here. All the stencils, mask, I keep calling them stencils because that's how I think of them, but they're called masks in the catalogue. They've all got a lovely little number on and this little notch. So number 1 is a very good place to begin, so let's do that. And I've got this little notch here which will help us keep things lined up. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is pop this down so it's square on this background piece. It's just a scrap piece card, and I'm going to use a pencil to trace this mark. Okay, you can use a stamp positioning tool, just keep everything up into the corner if you want to, right? But if you haven't got one, this is how you would do it. Okay, and then we'll have some bits of tape handy to secure that into place. So that's going to be our start point. And really apologise ahead of time if I end up getting my head underneath the camera. But when you're lining things up, you know, you want to be able to see where you're going with things. Okay, so now we need to try and get this lined up underneath here, which probably would have been easier without that piece of tape there. Okay, so we're just going to get this this piece of cardstock lined up, and once we've done this first layer and got it into place, all the other masks will then go over the top and be in the right place. So that's where that needs to be. So we'll just take that off and we'll secure this in place on this background, and that's going to stay there. Might even put another bit down because we're going to be die cutting this out, so the edges aren't going to matter. Okay, so that's in place. We've got our stencil mask in place. Okay, just a bit of scrap for taking ink off the brush, and we will get cracking. So this first layer, we only want it to be really, really light, so I've literally just put just a merest hint of ink on that brush there. Your mask might sort of have a little bit of play on it, so you know, you might want to just adjust it slightly, just make sure it's in the right place. And we'll just put on that first layer of ink, which is going to be really nice and light and just acts as that foundation for that colour. And it's barely there at all, but it won't be white, and then when we lift off the mask we'll be able to see it. Okay, so there we go, mask number 1 done. These will just wipe off with water, so you can just take them, use a damp cloth, or if you get them really mucky, get them into the sink and just wash them off and leave them to dry. Okay, so mask number 2, popping that into place, just make sure it's exactly where you want it to be. The line art will help you with that. Reload the brush. This layer we want to make a little darker so that we still get that shading, but in that same balmy blue colour. Okay, so this there we don't want to be too heavy. but we want it to contrast on that lighter image that we just put down. Okay, I'm sure I did that bit. Okay, and then when you lift off the mask, if you keep it sort of hinged like that, you can just pop it straight back down again if you want to add any more. But that is building up quite nicely, which hopefully comes across well enough on the camera. Okay, so it's a reasonably speedy process. So this one's going to put in some of the detail onto those flowers. So again, we'll line it up, get that notch lined up. Just double check on your image if it's just needs to be just adjusted just ever so slightly. It's not perfect science. So this one we want to try and put in a nice heavy amount of ink. So you might want to just reload the brush in between each application. You could use the smaller one to get into these. We have the mini brushes as well. This is the regular size brush, but we do have the minis. So if you wanted to switch to a mini brush to get into these little ones, you could. But I think that's going to look superb. Okay, so there's three. Those are the three that kind of the flowers, and then number 4 and number 5 are going to do the leaves. So just once more. Well, it's not once more at all. 2 more times. Just getting that, using the reference notch, but also just looking at that image and just making sure everything's lining up as it should be. Again, we don't want this to be a heavy layer, we want this just to be light. Okay, just to take off the whiteness of the card. When we die cut it, it'll have a little bit of a white layer as well around it, so that'll be really nice as well. Okay, let's see that that's done okay. Great, yeah. And then the final layer is going to put like the little veins and things in of those leaves. A little bit of extra depth and detail to some of those little pieces. Okay, so again, not super dark, but darker than that base layer. The Balmy Blue is one of my ink pads that I could probably do with a bit of extra ink on it. So for this kind of thing, building it up the colour, because it's quite a dry ink pad, is actually better. Alright, let's see how that looks. Oops. Yeah. Okay, might put a bit more of that on actually, might make that a little bit darker. So you've got that option, you can always go back and just do a little bit more if you want to, or maybe just in spots, not everywhere. Look, yeah, cool. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. Whoops, they're out the way. Okay, and then we're not worried about all the edges on here and all that kind of stuff, so we're not doing it straight onto a card base. So we have got the flexibility to get all this taped down where we need it and get it die cut. And so I'm not going to be too devastated if some of that tape just tears a little bit. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If you pull it right back on itself, rather than pull it up and off, if you pull it back on itself, it tends to come off a little cleaner. Not always, but it can help. So here's our coordinating die, which we'll just pop over the top here. Just make sure that's all in place. I'll just use that tape to keep it in place, and then we'll get that die cut. Okay, so this is what we're aiming for, or something along those lines. Okay, and that is basic beige. Really like it as a neutral. I say neutral, like a basic, not in like as in the neutrals family, but another option to white and vanilla. The die shifted just as tint, so there's a bit of a deeper border around the bottom, but it's fine, it's close enough. Okay, you can obviously take more time with it when you're not I'm trying to do this under a camera and everything else. Okay, so there we go. That's our focal piece. And in readiness, I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we need about 6, I would say. And just one sort of central there. That will support it well enough on our card base. I've already got a balmy blue card base ready to go. Okay. The other thing we need to do is cut the sentiment, so I happen to have another piece of cardstock that's going to be plenty big enough, and we've got this lovely happy anniversary stamp. Now, I'm not quite sure whether there were any rules on whether we were allowed to introduce sort of more shades to this challenge, so I think it would be nice to try and introduce something like Misty Moonlight. The Retired Starry Sky would have been nice, or Night of Navy even, to make that sentiment pop a little more from the rest of the card. But I'm going to stick with the brief. It is monochrome and using a single colour. I've been doing a lot of monochrome actually, because I'm doing a weekly Insta hop with a monochromatic theme. Okay, so this lovely happy anniversary sentiment comes in that set, and of course you can use whatever sentiment you like. Could have picked something from that, from the set that this comes from. But we're going to, like I say, keep it all in the same thing. And then, oh, I knew I wanted that for something. This die, now, if I just pop my die cut back in place, you'll feel it kind of lock in, if you like, right? But you can actually pop just a little bit of colour on this through the die, which means you'll end up with just a hint of a white border around it. Don't know whether that picks up that well on camera. Okay, do a bit more across the top there. Okay, that gives it another sort of border, another way to get it popped up off the card, if you know what I mean. So that's that and that. Let's start putting things together, shall we? So this is nice and straightforward, just a few dimensionals on there. Okay, and it does fit on a standard card, and I'm sort of tipping it a little bit more to the top because then we've got room for this guy to be put in place as well. Okay, and there's a space here that we'll need to add some extra support. So see, I was using up a scrap of card there, so top I'm just going to put a single dimensional, okay, and then at the bottom I'm actually going to put 2 together, which means it should end up nice and flat, because that will go on the base, whereas this will go on the popped up flowers. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we'll pop that down. About there. Checking that's yeah. Okay, just about fitted and on there. Okay, and then I'm going to bust out this new ribbon. You see that? Really nice sort of stripes on it. Comes as a 2-pack with petal pink. Gorgeous. I love a white ribbon because it's perfect for things like this. It's kind of it'll be interesting to see how well this colours. It's got a bit of a shine, a bit of texture to it, so I'll probably try that at some point and see whether it takes, particularly the stamping blends, see how well it takes that. Should be fine. Just make sure we haven't got squished bunny ears there, and then bring those tails together. I don't know why I put the scissors away because I need them again, and cut it at an angle, which happens, there is an angle on there, so I'm just going to use that angle to get that even, and then we can pop that on with a glue dot. Let's get one of those. So we just press that on and then take it off the paper with my little pokey tool there and get that positioned on there. It's kind of nice that it floats off the sides a little bit. Oops. There we go. Cute, cute, cute. And of course some little white pearls are going to be lovely on here as well. So we can bring those in. These are actually iridescent, but you know, they've got that sort of blue and blue hue to them because of that iridescence, so that's going to look cool. You can use a blend to add some colour to them as well if you want to make them a little bit more matchy-matchy, but I think that'll do. Okay, so there we go, all in blues. That was Balmy Blue that I've used for this project. Okay, the original sample was Basic Beige. Of course, you can knock yourselves out with what colours you want to use. Alright, don't forget to hop along and see what everyone else has made, all using a monochromatic theme this month. It's the 1st of May, new catalogue day, new everything. It's just all going on in Stampin' Up at the moment. So there'll be lots of inspiration for you. Alright, that's it from me today. Hope you're staying safe. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.